So one of the most important parts of your proposal is how your brand comes across. So your logos, your colors, your fonts, and how all of that is represented. We've handled an awful lot of the design work in the proposals itself, but you do still need to supply, you are in control of how your logo comes across. So I'm just gonna whiz through a couple of different places where your logo is sort of heavily represented and explain the best way to use that space that we've given you to make your brand look cool. So the first is the cover. Now, I've touched on this in a previous video, but the best combination of things to put on your cover is a really, really nice photograph and then using white text on that photograph. So the best thing you can possibly do with your logo is have it match the text. It'll just look in keeping, in uniform, it'll look really, really smart. So a fully whited out version of your logo, if you can, would look the best. The next best thing, if you can't do that or it doesn't really fit with your logo, is make sure that the text part of your logo is white. So that's your cover. The next is your proposal itself. Now by default, the sidebar where your logo appears is white. So make sure it looks good on a white background. If you want to invert that, or you want to change the sidebar color of your proposals, and you can change this to any color you want, but the two default options are white and a dark gray. So if you wanted to invert that onto a dark gray, then your white version of your logo would look rubbish. So you'd need to use a similar version to what you used on your cover, for instance. So play around with that. You do have a bunch of different options there, but you generally want to go with white text if there's any sort of color whatsoever, and then go with a darker version if it's a completely white background. The third place is on the email itself. So this is always going to be white. If you do anything else there, it's just going to look weird. So make sure that you're using sort of the most standard version of your logo, which is the one that would go on a white background. The bunch of other things to consider to go along with your brand, your fonts. If you go into proposal branding and then click on fonts, you can choose the different fonts there. So if you do use specific fonts, obviously have a little look through and try and find something that matches, or if it is in the Google font library, drop us a quick message and we can get it added for you. The last thing I want to talk about is colors. So with your brand, you probably have one or two colors that go with your logo that you use on your website and things like that. But most companies don't have like a full sort of style guide or something like that. And to be completely honest, it's not really that necessary. But there's a cool website I want you to check out, which will give you a bunch of different colors which you can use in your proposals, in things like your feature blocks and things like that, which will really sort of bring together your colors and really bring together your brand and make it look really smart. The website is Colors, Coolers, something, I don't know. I'll put it on here anyway, and you can go to that. But what's cool about it is that you can put one color in and lock it, and then it'll automatically generate 4 additional colors that all go with that color. So you can play around with that to your heart's content until you can find sort of like 5 or 6 colors you really, really like, and then you can put them sort of in your feature blocks, and it really will make your proposals look smart. So I hope that's helped you come up with some really good ideas on how you can make your proposals look better. Enjoy!